sites and
Yeah.
have a meal. Well, we are starting a new program where you can go to a local restaurant to have a senior meal. You can get the tickets through Office for the Aging for a donation, and then you can present them at the restaurant and get the whole meal. And then we pay the restaurant for it.
Really?
And so we're going to be starting this with select 6 restaurants in strategic locations around the county. We're trying to get one in each corner of the county, not on the main drags, usually in places where we don't have congregate sites, at least to start. And then we will open it up to any restaurant that wants to participate.
Okay, tell me, have you got any in mind yet?
Actually, we do.
Can you clue us to
Sure.
one of them? Yeah, we got a feeling for this.
We hope to do it at the Rowdy Rooster in Panama.
Okay.
The Dutch Village
Where's that?
in Clymer.
Oh, okay.
We're going to be talking with Meter's Restaurant next week in Ripley.
That's good, because that's a corner. That's a
Yeah,
corner.
and then up north in Casadega, I think it's called Grandma's Kitchen.
Okay, terrific.
And in Sheridan, it's the Outer Limits.
What a memory. How do you remember all this?
I don't know. And in Ellington, there's one in Ellington as well. Those are the 6 that we hope to start with.
That's terrific.
And we've been contacting those restaurants. The county executive actually has been out there contacting them, and then my nutrition staff will follow up to see if they're interested. And we hope it'll be a win-win for the these restaurants that are having a hard time in this economic.
Every restaurant's having a hard time. You know,
right.
I had a guy on from the extension from Fredonia who does gives people a lot of advice and business advice, small business, and he pointed out that up here about 99 and 44% of new restaurants go under within a year. I mean, and this is a bad climate because people what is the first thing they cut? Dinner out. And boy.
Exactly. And, you know, nutrition is one of the cornerstones of keeping people healthy. And we are finding that our baby boomers really don't want to go to the congregate sites that their parents went to. And that's okay. So we have to find new ways to meet their needs, and this is a program that has just taken off in other counties, and I've been wanting to start it for some time, and now that we have the stimulus funds, I think it's the push to do it. It'll continue beyond the
I'm sure it
the
will.
Stimulus funds, because we've
sure
always had good funding for our nutrition programs, but this is my push right now to get it
I mean,
out
what a program.
there.
And when is this going to open up, do you know?
We hope within the next month. We're right now contacting the restaurants to see if they're interested. As I said, we want to pilot it at 6 restaurants, and then after we work out the bugs, because there's always bugs when you start a new program, we hope to open it up to any restaurant that's interested.
A senior will be able to buy a full dinner for a donation.
Right.
$1? Or what's the donation amount?
It's up to usually it's $3.
$3 is a.
But it depends on
their. That's what it is at the centers, right? The
right.
Nutrition centers.
So we usually give a sliding scale depending on people's income. But a $3 donation buys you the tickets, and then we reimburse the restaurants $5.
Okay.
For the meal.
That's a pretty small meal. Well,
no, you can get a very nice meal for $5. And remember, we're going to be, contracting with these restaurants so that they can probably give us a little bit better deal.
Yeah, well, $5.
It's going to be a full, 1/3 of the RDA for a 70-year-old man is our requirement.
Okay, RDA.
Yeah, and our dietitian will work with the restaurants to make sure that it's a well-balanced meal. It meets all the nutritional requirements. So you would actually go in and pick off of a senior menu. We hope to put,
Last restaurant I went to, the salads were $7. Just a salad. I mean, $5 is not going to get you much money. I don't care how. I think they've been kidding you along here. For dinner?
Actually, it's going
Spaghetti runs about
really
$9.
well in other places. So.
maybe they give you a special break. Well, that's a senior dinner too. They cut it
Well,
down a little
that's
bit. Yeah,
it,
that's
you
good.
know,
That's good.
and
Most seniors can't eat anything.
you know, usually when they can count on enough people coming in, they can do a better deal too.
Yeah. Also, it gives the waitress a tip who wouldn't normally have one.
Well, the tip you have to do yourself.
You must remember the waitress.
Yes.
I mean, the poor thing's got to have some
That's
money.
not included in the cost.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you did mention that nutrition is so important to seniors. Did you know that there's been kind of a breakthrough, which has been around a long time, known by the veggies? Did you know that diabetes, which affects many seniors, can be totally reversed and halted with a diet? It does work. I mean, it does
if you're
work.
talking
It's
about,
documented.
yeah, if type 2 diabetes that comes on
when
in
you're
older.
using insulin, you will stop using insulin. When you're taking 3 or 4 different meds to go with it, you will stop using them within 3 days, Marianne.
Diet and
Did you know that?
exercise. I don't know if it's as simple as you're making it out to
It
be.
is absolutely simple, and it is effective, and it is true, because it's been documented by many, many physicians now who all have said you can't reverse it, and put everybody willy-nilly on a bunch of meds and insulin. There is a camp where you can go, I mean a center out, I think it's out in Arizona, Colorado, called Life Tree or something like that. But just look up diabetes diet cure, and they basically put you on a raw vegetable and fruit diet, and they cut out wheat, and they substitute soy, certain other things for it. But it's a very tricky diet. But once you get used to it, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it will. The average person going out there goes out, I think, for something like 20 days, 21 days. Within 3 days, most of them go off insulin. Who are taking heavy insulin. I mean, this does work. And they go home and they stay off insulin, they stay off the meds, their blood pressure drops to normal, then they lose weight. Many people who are diabetic, as you know, are heavily overweight.
Well,
and I'm not endorsing this program, but I'm just asking anybody who has diabetes or knows somebody has it, check it out on the website. And you will find out that there is a diet that's absolutely 100% works, and the FDA, the doctors, and all the critics and the doubting Thomases have checked into it, and it works. It's positive and it works. You have to have a lot of self-control. I mean, you can't go down and start eating cookies. One thing they cut right out completely is sugar, of course. And check it out, guys. There is hope for people who are diabetic without having to have a kidney transplant. Marianne Spanos sitting here gulping. She says this cannot be true.
Well, I haven't heard of that one. I know that many people who are obese get diabetes because they eat improperly. And if you do go on and usually it's a low carb, higher protein diet, or complex carbohydrate like oatmeals and things that don't break down easily into sugars, you can, beat diabetes through diet and exercise. I haven't heard this particular diet, so I don't want to say that I endorse that, but
nobody endorses it.
There are ways for type 2 diabetes, not the type of diabetes that you're born with.
Oh, that's childhood diabetes.
Childhood diabetes is a problem where you're not making any insulin in your body, so you have to replace it. People who develop diabetes as they age, it's usually because inactivity and poor eating habits, obesity, and your pancreas that produces insulin shuts down, or you become resistant to insulin. And diet and exercise help to reverse that. So there is less radical ways to beat diabetes as well.
Yeah, well, let's again, as I mentioned, this is for the heavy-duty stuff where you're shooting up with insulin, and it still works. And check it out on something tree, Health Tree or whatever, I think it's Life Tree or whatever.
I do want to touch on something about, Mort was talking about the flu epidemic, and I think it's always terrific that people get prepared. Our health department, with Chris Schuyler as our health director, for Chautauqua County is working very hard to get ready for vaccinations. One thing they have found with this new virus that's going around, the H1N1, is that seniors seem to have some kind of protection to it. Not really sure
They've
whether
survived it.
well, they're not seeing as many cases
Yeah,
in
right.
seniors, at least right now, as in the form it's in right now. And that could be, they're surmising it's for two reasons. One, because many seniors go and get their regular vaccine every year. The other, that may give them some protection. The other thing is that there was some kind of